tackle on Debo. I know it's easy to point down. They only gave up 17 points. If I'm Raheem Morris, if I'm Sean McVay, I'm feeling pretty good about how my defense played in that game. I'm feeling pretty good how my defense has played all season long. Just got to get that offense together because that thing is broke.
So I think there's, I don't know, I get the reasoning behind that. I could see if you're looking at some positives and you're looking for, okay, you get a loss. How can we build off something? I understand the defensive part of it, but I also think just there hasn't really been a game yet this year. Maybe you could say that Arizona game, where from start to finish you feel a certain way. That from start to finish you walk away and you're like, okay, you know what? That was good football.
Across the board, or are you talking defensively?
Across the board. Yeah. Just across the board. And listen, I get the kind of the argument. I mean, maybe I could sit here and make a case if the offensive line is just holds on for just another 2 seconds, maybe all of a sudden you are hitting Allen Robinson more. Maybe all of a sudden, if Matt Stafford could have just a little bit of time, he's not throwing X amount of picks like he has so far. But nothing has really felt like it's clicked. And I think the one thing that I look back on, I'm going to just use, there's a perception of the Rams coming into this season. The perception of the Rams is it's going to be a tough football team. It's a good football team. They got real star players. Now, do they have depth? I'm not sure if they have depth. They probably don't. They had to pay a lot of their main guys. But you have a certain, everybody's looking at their schedule. Damn, we play the Rams this year. This should be a good game. This should be a tough game. That's losing momentum every single week. Even on some of the wins, I feel like it's losing some of the momentum. Give the defense their credit. You're right. They only gave up 17 points. A couple of them big plays. You got a missed field goal by the 49ers. A couple times where they felt like they had momentum. They were going to score. They didn't. They had to settle for a field goal. But nothing has really seemed like it's been fluid.
Nothing fits offensively in particular. Allen Robinson is nowhere. Like it's
2 catches yesterday.
It's not that it's been, hey, this isn't quite as good as I thought. He's been a non-factor. Mm-hmm. Robert Woods was a really good football player for the Rams. Caught passes, threw blocks. They'd handle on that jet sweep. They'd give it to Robert Woods pretty regularly. I understand they're different types of football players, but Van Jefferson brings a certain thing to this team. His absence is glaring. OBJ's absence is glaring. And Ben Skoranek was a 7th-round draft pick who's doing the best that he can, but he's fairly limited in what you're going to get out of him. Allen Robinson has to do something. Slee, we're a quarter of the way through the season. He's got 9 catches. Mm-hmm. Cooper Kupp had 14 last night. Allen Robinson has 9 on the season. He's got 1 touchdown, and it was really in that opening part of the Atlanta game, they made it a very specific, concentrated effort to get him the ball. And it was obvious because the first game, it's like, oh, yeah, that didn't look good at all. What do you do now? Throw it to Allen Robinson a couple of times, and it was okay. But since then, he's been nowhere, and no one's giving me a good example as to why. No one's saying, hey, it's this.
No one's giving an answer.
He's not open. Mm-hmm. They're not looking at him. He was running clear-outs last night. Think about that. You're just basically saying you run down the middle of the field so you can pull a safety and who's ever covering you out of the box so we can try to get Cooper Kupp a little bit more space, so we can try to get Tyler Higbee a little bit more space. That dude has to give you something, and he's not. Cam Akers has to give you something, and he's not. Darrell Henderson has to give you something, and he's not. And I get it. Everything goes back to the offensive line. You're talking about their depth. Their depth to their depth is playing.
Third stringers.
2 of them. Mm-hmm. You have 5 offensive linemen. You're playing 2 first stringers, a second stringer, and 2 third stringers. Good luck. Matthew Stafford's played poorly this year, but how is he supposed to play well when Joey Bosa is almost intercepting the snap half the time? He's back there when the ball gets back there. No one can do anything in that situation.
They're 2-2. Okay? The division is everyone's 2-2.
Yep.
So even if you kind of feel a certain way about the Rams, and I think you were telling me earlier, there are 15 teams in the NFL right now that are 2-2.
Half the league.
Half the league is sitting at 2-2. So one positive you can say is, all right, they go on a few-game winning streak here. They would put themselves in a position where we're not paying as much attention in the first 4 games. Let me go through their next 4 games for you. You just tell me W or an L.
Yeah.
Okay? Home against the Cowboys.
L.
Dak may play.
Regardless, it's not an offensive thing for the Cowboys. It's that the Cowboys play defense like the 49ers.
Home versus Cowboys.
Yep.
What'd you say?
L.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Micah Parsons might be the best defensive player in football, not named Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm.
Who's good? You saw what happened last night. You saw what happened with Fred Warren last night. You saw what happened with Bosa last night. They don't have an answer for these guys.
Okay, 2-3. Carolina at home.
Win.
3-3. Frisco at home.
Loss. Why would it be different? They've played them 7 times in the regular season, and not only have they lost 7 times, they've lost exactly the same way 7 times. They're getting out-physicaled. They're throwing interceptions. They can't move the ball. The play calling is predictable.
Okay.
L.
Okay. Kind of like this here. By the way, I love the honesty in some of these predictions. You're actually surprising me.
Did you not watch what happened last night?
I watched, but I'm not sold on.
I'm
not sold on the Cowboys. So that part to do with it. And the 49ers, you play them at home. How much will that change? Maybe not that much. So they're 3-4, and then you're at Tampa Bay.
Believe it or not, I think they'll win that game.
They play well. They play well against.
That's
Tampa.
a good matchup for them. That's one of those games that, like Arizona Cardinals, they've played Tom Brady 3 times, twice in the regular season, once in the playoffs. They beat him all 3 times. And if Cam Akers doesn't fumble on the goal line, that playoff game's a blowout. It got weird at the end for reasons, but they've played him 3 times and been comfortably ahead in all 3 of those games.
So you're 4-4 through 8 games.
And by the way, it gets harder after that.
I was going to say, the reason why I stopped at that 4, and they got their bye before the San Francisco and Tampa game.
Yep.
The reason why I stopped there is, well, let's just see, through 8 games, what are you, right? And if you're 4-4 through 8 games, big difference between 4-4 and 5-3.
Huge.
That means you'd have to win 3 of 4 to be put in that spot. They are proving every single week, no, guys, we're an average team. Just believe us. Watch us play. We're an average team. We play average football. If you take the sum of everything and the defense might have a good night and the offense might struggle, ultimately they're an average team. After that, you still got, at some point, still got KC, still got New Orleans on the road, still got Green Bay on the road, a Charger game, and then, of course, the rest are some of these divisional opponents that you have.
And the Raiders. Look, I know that the Raiders, what is that? That's in the
December
first
8th.
week of December.
Yeah.
But that is not an easy game.
That's coming off of, you're going to do Sunday against Seattle, 4 days later, a Thursday night against Vegas.
It's a Thursday night against Vegas. And by the way, Raider fans will be in the house. The Raider fans
of course they will.
Are going to fill up SoFi Stadium. Here's
I don't think I'm allowed to go.
Well, it could be like one of those.
Stadium.
What is that movable object and irresistible force that you kind of the Raiders
Two
and the
opposite magnets.
Yeah. They'll just keep going sideways like when you're a kid. But here's the deal. Here's something that I am positive about. I really believe that Sean McVay is one of the best guys to do this.
Okay.
I think that he's different. I think that he will figure it out. Now, the question is, can you figure it out with 2 third-string offensive linemen? Can you figure it out with no production from Allen Robinson? Maybe not. But I don't think that Sean McVay is going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. He's a really smart guy. Yeah. He's a very creative guy. He has this, other than the 2019 season, that again, this goes back to what we were talking about before, coming off the Super Bowl where they were kind of had that funk, malaise, whatever you want to call it. That was the challenge for him to figure out, and they still finished 9-7. They did not have a good season. They finished 9-7. This season so far is off to a really bumpy start. I have faith in Sean McVay that he will figure it out.
How many wins you need? You go 9-8.
10 is, I think, a slam dunk.
You're still getting in at 9-8. You'll need some stuff to go your way.
9-8, you're down probably to some weird tiebreaker stuff.
Yep, you are.
But 10 gets
Philly
you in.
got in 9-8 yesterday or last year, winning the tiebreaker over New Orleans. So
the NFC is not very good, so 9-8 may be good enough. 10 is a dunk,
but the way you just went through the schedule to go 4-4 through the first 8, you're probably ending up with 9 wins, 10 at best. If you're 4-4,
10 feels like a lot.
If you're 4-4 through 8, to get 10 wins, probably the best case scenario the rest of the way versus some of those teams that we're talking about.
You got to get hot at some point, and there's no part in the schedule that says, okay, they can get hot right there. You're going to have to just play better, and so far they haven't played well.
Does this happen to you when you have a couple of tacos, some rice and beans, you just want to go run through a wall? Do you feel like you have...
I think this is...
Do you feel like you have more energy than you've ever had?
Just think about this. Nice, dark, cool room. Nice, comfortable pillow. Kick your shoes off.
Why did I get tired?
Gut full of rice, beans,
I need more
and tacos,
chips.
And just maybe a cold beer that's just kind of sitting on your lap, just kind of you're holding on to it.
That might be the one.
Ease into that nice little slumber along the way. Lakers had their opener last night, their preseason opener. So did the Clippers, and apparently everybody's all in on the Clippers, Slee. I find that very, very amusing. That's next. It's Travis Slee, 710. Hey, Rams fans, Travis Rogers here. You have got to get the new ESPNLA app. In fact, let's go down to the locker room and get a little help.
What's up, Rams fans? This is Matthew Stafford. React to the Rams on the new ESPNLA app.
This is Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams. Listen to all your Rams talk on the ESPNLA app.
You are just one tap away from Rams All Access. Travis and Slee, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. Download it now on the App Store or Google Play.
710 ESPN is giving you a chance to win $1 million.
$1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays. Listen every Monday during football season to Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, and Sedano and Cap. All you have to do is make a super prediction.
And you can win $1 million.
And you can score tickets to a game at SoFi for just playing on $1 Million Mondays.
$1 Million Mondays.
710 ESPN.
Football fans, want to win $100 for picking 5 games against the spread? Just download the Cover 5 app for free. Compete with Travis and Sliwa each week for a chance to win $100. Here's what you need to do. Download the Cover 5 app, use the code TS22 to join our show league and start having fun all season long. Just download the Cover 5 app, use the code TS22 to join the Travis and Sliwa Show League, pick 5 games against the spread to win $100, or play all season long at cover5.com.
Football fans, want to win $100 for picking 5 games against the spread? Just download the Cover 5 app for free. Compete with Mason and me each week for a chance to win $100. Here's what you need to do. Download the Cover 5 app, use code MI22 to join our show league, and then start having fun all season long. Just download the Cover 5 app. Use code MI22 to join the Mason and Ireland Show League. Pick 5 games against the spread to win $100, or play all season long at cover5.com.
It is Live Imaging Tuesday on Travis and Sliwa. Live Imaging Tuesday made possible by our friends at Cover 5. Football fans, Cover 5 is giving you a chance to win $50,000 in Week 5 only if you get the perfect score. Cover 5 is free to play sports game. Pick 5 games against the spread. Can you not do that while I'm doing a read, please? Download. Cover 5 is sponsoring Live Imaging Tuesday, and you're making it sounds like a whale.
The ship is coming in.
All aboard? Download the app or go to cover5.com. It's also National Taco Day. As Janice pointed out, it's LITT, Live Imaging Taco Tuesday.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
The TT could also be taken today sometimes. On in the Travis and Sliwa community right now, on Twitter, at ESPN Los Angeles, put out a photo of you and Slee, Travis and Slee. It says,
amazing.
caption this. And it is one of the most incredible photos ever. This will definitely be on screen at Mandy's, too.
Sorry.
Is it that one at the top there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I actually think it's us basically running. They tell us it's Taco Tuesday, and we just take off.
I'm about to tackle you from behind. Like I got good closing speed.
Well, I don't even know. It's almost.
He can see the food, and he's got closing speed.
I can't tell
like
if
Micah Parsons of tacos.
If you think the camera's not on you and you're like just sneaking over, like what the hell is going on out
Let's see
there?
what was in there.
By
the way,
out there?
I did not get a rolled taco on the first time through. I just went back to get gone, all gone. So I missed out on that, unfortunately. That's a drag.
Ask somebody I would taste it because I didn't have one either.
You didn't get one either?
No, I was.
Emily, did you get one?
I did.
Damage.
It was really, really good. I'm sorry you missed out. But
so there's an El Cholo in Corona del Mar, kind of on your way.
Well, I mean, it's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
There's also one in Anaheim Hills, which is kind of off
Corona
the
Del Mar
55.
is a little bit of an easier get for me.
Yeah, but that,
My favorite caption of this photo is Sliwa as the dog and Travis as me when someone rings the doorbell. Because Sliwa just looks like someone that was just like, go and attack the doorbell, and Travis is like, oh, I don't know what's there.
There's a lot going on there. That's what happens when you service tacos.
Well, they were pretty good. I'm just saying that I feel I'm still preoccupied with the rolled taco miss.
I could run a half marathon right now.
I just saw Mace. He's in the other room. He looks. I asked him, "Is everything okay?" He looks like he hasn't slept in days because of the Rams game, and he's wearing all the USC gear today.
Oh, he flipped the script already. All right. Well,
team's undefeated right now.
I mean, you could have the team that's 5-0, I believe SC is, or you could have the team that's 2-2 and just got thumped.
The Rams need USC's
time.
offense, and USC needs the Rams' defense.
You can see John and Steve come in here about 35 minutes for Super Crosstalk. Stream it live on YouTube. Just search ESPNLA and hit the subscribe button, yo. Travis and Sliwa continues right now.
This is great. I hope there's only one type of taco so we don't confuse Slee with picking entrees. There were two types of taco, and you navigated it beautifully. You got your rice and beans. Oh, by the way, Jorge just texted me and says that we're good on our rice and beans together. That Janice is wrong
with the salsa.
Yes, Jorge says that we're doing it the correct way.
Weird. I've never seen that in my life.
Trav, I told you.
Jorge just said Janice. I'm just telling you what Jorge said. That he says that I'm
I don't
good to
care
go.
what he says.
I do. It makes me feel better. I like to have some validation in my life.
It's a perfect combo with a chip.
Yeah.
It's a perfect combo.
But Janice is our homegirl.
For sure, but she's wrong about rice and beans.
Spice, you never heard of it. Yeah. Or never done it. It's like the perfect combination. They all feel like they belong together.
Combination plate.
Oh, you gave me the wrong picture, Chris. There's another one further down. That's
I'm sorry.
Where
I got to navigate Twitter for you, too?
No, I can navigate it. I asked you if this is the one, and you said it is, and it's not. The other one is better because I look like a serial killer. I look like I'm getting ready to do something terrible to you, Slee. Like you're in my way, and I'm really getting ready to go do some work.
I'm closer to the door.
Yeah, well,
so when they say go, I'm the first one out.
You had the pole position. You had the taco pole position as you were getting ready
You're Max
to go.
Verstappen of tacos.
Exactly. You were in my way. All right. Why is everybody on the Clippers, Slee? Do you need to lock us out, Chris? Do you need to do that?
I thought I did.
Maybe you did.
I didn't do it?
I don't know. I don't feel
Live
like
Imaging Tuesday made possible by Cover 5. Download the app or go to cover5.com. Travis and Sliwa, meanwhile, continue right now.
Thank you. The Clips played last night. Everybody, Kawhi's going to win the MVP. Yeah. Everything is good. Paul George is back. Ty Lue's the best coach in the league. Why do we do this every single year? You know me. I would like to see it once before I believe it's going to happen again. I'm going to need to see it one time. We've seen it 0 times with those guys.
I'm okay with the hype. I get the hype. I mean, you look at their last 2 years. They get to the Western Conference Finals, and Kawhi goes out. And they close out that series against the Utah Jazz in the semifinals, and then they get the furthest they've ever got to without Kawhi Leonard and put up a fight against the Phoenix Suns. Last year, all the conversation about how much AD has missed over the last 2 years, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George have missed an incredible amount of time as well. They got a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay on the hype, but I get to pump the brakes on the Clippers here because let's see what happens. Let's see if they're healthy. By the way, they have so much. I told you that the Lakers don't really have that much depth. They have so much depth where you're trying to figure out how are they going to use all these guys. One thing that could happen, I know.
Yeah.
One thing that could happen with a team like this. Guys start saying, I don't get the ball enough. I don't shoot enough. That's how much depth they have. So I'm just giving you an example of how much depth they have. I'm all right with the hype because I think the hype is warranted. The question's going to be, will these dudes be playing? And will it all kind of jive together? Ty Lue, big fan of. Big fan of him as a coach. A lot of their role players, I kind of get all that. Question's going to be is Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Is Kawhi going to be the player that he was over those last couple of years when he won an NBA championship and he was healthy? Or is he going to be the Kawhi that's kind of in and out of the lineup? You're picking and choosing when you play. That part I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But the Lakers are going to get them. The second game of the season will be their opening night. Clippers on paper got a really good team.
They do.
Really good team.
The problem is that when the last time we saw them together, now I get it, the coaching has been changed, and I think that that's a meaningful difference. But we've seen Paul George and Kawhi Leonard together. And it's that weird thing. Like, the reason AD and LeBron is so intriguing is that they complement each other really, really well. There's very little overlap on what the two of those guys do. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are very, very similar players. And if you got two guys, even though they're both great, they're both really, really talented guys, but when you have two guys that do the same thing, one guy's going to be standing around waiting to do the thing that the other guy's doing, and then vice versa. And I get it that during the give and take of an NBA season, right, when you're in game number 39 and you're halfway through the season and you're playing in Minnesota one night, you can do the you go, I go thing. It's not a big deal. You go, I go, you go, I go. It's fine. When it gets down to the meaningful games in the postseason, you go, I go doesn't work. There needs to be some sort of hierarchy. There needs to be some sort of structure in how these things go. And I've never felt like they've had that part figured out because they've never been in it together. And the one time we did see it, again, bubble, Doc Rivers, a lot of extenuating circumstances. It was a disaster.
Yeah, they collapsed. So this is how they have their GM survey. This is always interesting. This is the general managers of the NBA. Which team will win the 2023 NBA Finals? Okay, they have the Milwaukee Bucks at the 1 spot. That the GMs out there think Milwaukee, which I don't think is a stretch at all.
No.
Okay, Milwaukee, if they come out, they had some injuries last year. Middleton missed some key games, so
they have nearly twice the odds of the Warriors.
That part's interesting.
Yeah,
right. But let's take the odds out for a quick second. It's the Bucks at number 1. It's the Warriors at number 2. You and I are both not surprised that that's your NBA Finals. Nobody's going to be surprised. Clippers is the one that comes in at number 3. If I took any other Eastern Conference team, I don't know what's going to happen to Boston. You don't usually have a coach who is
it's weird, man.
Accomplishes as much as he did in his first year, has what you feel like is the foundation of the team, and then he's gone. Okay. That's very interesting, and I don't know how that dynamic's going to work out on the floor. In the Western Conference, what are the other teams that are really going to compete in the West? Lakers are not in that conversation right now. They got a lot to show. Denver, I think, will be a part of that conversation. Phoenix would be a part of that conversation, but I think they're going the other way. I think Phoenix, momentum-wise, I think it's going the other way. Memphis probably in that conversation. Maybe Dallas. Just use those as an example. Of all those teams,
a good team. Honestly, and I don't think they're going to win the championship.
Minnesota?
Yeah, they could beat somebody.
Can I tell you another good team that nobody's going to talk about too? And it's fine. I get it too. New Orleans is a good team as well. So there are some good teams in the Western Conference. On paper, the Clippers have a better roster than any of those teams that I just mentioned, other than the Golden State Warriors. Like, on paper. I'm not telling you that it's going to fit perfectly or any of that. So I see that they got them. The GMs got them at 3rd. I would tell you this. They should be top 5 in the NBA from odds perspective.
I hear you, but this is the argument from going back to last summer with the Lakers. On paper, it's this thing that's...
But don't you feel like they are different?
They're better, for sure.
But there's like defined roles, role players, all that stuff.
Yes, but I think there's also a lot of similarities, which is you can tell me that on paper that this guy's going to do this and that guy's going to do that and this piece is complementary to that piece. But in the flow of it all, what's it going to look like? And the flow of it all with them, I don't know. Because we haven't seen it. And the little fragment that we did see was bad. So I'm going to go on the fragment until I see a little bit more. They're not going to be a bad team.
Yeah.
They're going to be one of the top 4 seeds in the West. They'd be, assuming health. They have too many good players to not be in there. Mm-hmm. But whether or not this fits together the way the Warriors fit together, whether it fits the way that
Warriors
Phoenix fit well together,
and
Memphis,
the Bucks, stay with the Bucks,
the Celtics, the pieces fit really well together. I'm not convinced that that's what this is with the Clippers.
Would you be shocked if they're in the would you be surprised if it's the Clippers and the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals?
Say that again?
Would you be surprised if it's the Clippers and the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals?
No.
I wouldn't either. That's kind of my point, right? Like that I would not be surprised that there's 2 teams left in the Western Conference and they're one of them. It's almost not expected, but it wouldn't be a surprise at all.
Did the Dodgers get the answer to who's going to pitch that 4th game in the playoffs last night? That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Live Imaging Tuesday with Travis and Sliwa.
I don't think that's true.
No, you do. It's fine.
I look good in that picture, by the way, Slee. I'm lurking around the corner, kind of seeing what you're up to. Getting ready to go murder the taco plate.
And I don't even know you're behind me. Like, you're so quiet.
Like a
coyote watching
lion.
Greg
just gonna
golf.
By the way, Greg was so
there.
scared of that coyote. Like, I'm not afraid of coyotes because they don't want to mess with you.
Yeah.
They're not going to go eat a person.
Well, that one I think was evaluating whether he wanted to eat it or not.
They just got they were adorable.
Was Berg worried?
Yeah, he was shaking a little bit out there.
It was stalking him.
Now, he was a good 130 yards away from us.
Mm-hmm.
So we were kind of like, sorry, Berg. We're all on the green.
That wasn't his best hole.
No, but Greg plays fine. Don't knock Greg's game.
I wasn't.
This is another thing he loves to do.
You say he plays fast or something
He
like
does.
that?
He plays fine. I would play with Greg 100 more times and enjoy it every time.
Is he
plays
downplaying
fast.
Greg's game?
No.
I think so.
Well, how so? No, stop.
Well, no.
That's not true.
Yesterday you ranked, and you were pretty quick to put Berg at the bottom four.
Hold it. Rank the people in our foursome as far as just golfing ability goes.
Trav.
Yes.
Okay.
Tommy.
Yes.
I mean, here's my issue. If I actually focused, didn't drink or smoke cigars or talk about work, I would be 1. But because I do all
of those,
I would be true. Okay. I'd be 2. Guarantee you.
Maybe.
But because I do all those things and you guys keep wanting to talk work, I'm 3.
You were 3 in that group. Greg is 4, but there was no shade thrown at Greg's game. Not
no,
one
I think it
single
was
time.
something to the
I
effect
can easily
of
beat
like,
Tommy if I just focus.
We'll
like
see.
he's way at the bottom. Like
You
it
should
was,
focus then.
I don't.
I know, clearly. I mean, I believe
Taylor,
you.
am I
I've
remembering
seen
this
it.
correctly?
About
that,
what?
That Greg was you put him pretty far down. Like, yeah,
Greg was
these
6th,
other...
and there were only 4 of us in the group.
No, see, that's not right. Greg's got a decent game. He doesn't play that often.
Fine. I'm not making fun of his game. I'm saying that in that group, he was last.
Listen, I am the president of the Corporate Greg fan club. There's only one member, and it's me. But I'm the president. I'm his
no, that's
biggest
not
fan.
true. Slee and I are in the group.
Yeah, I
No,
think
you're
we're-
not.
No,
I think we're
100%
in.
we are.
Yeah, Slee said a lot of stuff at that lunch. Anyway,
I
Taylor,
went right after Greg.
producer Taylor just followed me on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, you
And-
can follow back.
I got to evaluate. But here's the thing.
Evaluate
Did
what?
you know he was on Instagram or Twitter?
No.
Exactly.
I didn't know he's on
100%
Twitter.
he's under a
I did
different
know he's
name.
on Twitter. I didn't know
So
about
apparently,
Instagram.
and then I said, well, why aren't you tell us so you get tagged in things? Because he's like, oh, well, you guys never mentioned to follow yourselves on Twitter. I go, yeah, but we're tagged in station stuff so people find us.
So tag me.
But nobody at the station
I don't
knows
run
you're on
social
Twitter or
media here.
Instagram.
But also, I've told people his handle over and over
What
again.
are you Royalty Smith on?
Royalty Smith, yeah.
How'd you know that?
Because I follow him on Twitter.
And then I said, well, why don't we bring it up more? Then he said, oh, I'm not some hobo asking for followers. And I don't even know what that means.
Do hobos
Followers.
are hobos on Instagram? I thought they just
They might
ride
be.
to that
Okay,
stick over their shoulder.
Some influencer asking for followers.
I have
We're
not
all
seen.
influencers.
I have not seen a
Followers.
sign that says "Follow me at."
Don't need money.
Got a Venmo here on this side.
Please just follow me.
That's amazing. By the way, that should be a thing.
And I think he'd get probably some.
Yeah,
Some extra money.
Little Venmo, a little Zelle, a little something going
A day
your
in
way.
my life. Someone who lives on the
That's
street.
amazing. You should trademark or copyright that or something. That's a really good idea.
All right, so I don't know if we're going to get a lot from Taylor then.
At
Do we ever?
Royalty Smith. His Instagram's a good follow.
Is it?
He has cool pictures.
Concerts.
He's like,
I'm going to
yeah.
guess. There's concerts
I'm
on
in on
there.
that.
Concerts, art,
Art.
oceans.
But Morales doesn't want to do it.
No, I'll follow you back. I'm never an instant follower. Even when
You got to think about it.
What does
gotta-
that
no,
mean?
it's-
explain the.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, you
Here's
got to
the-
wait like I got
Little
it.
power
You got to wait
move.
like
We get it,
48
Chris.
hours. I have
Here's
no
the
idea.
thing.
Go ahead.
When you're working it, okay, because that's the new thing. You don't ask for people's numbers. You take a picture with somebody. You go, hey, let me tag you. Boom. Now we've exchanged.
We got a
They're
selfie.
like, oh my god, let me follow you. Oh my god. And then they were like looking at your pictures in front of them. I'm like, huh, you don't follow them back. Why do I need to? You already followed me. I'll follow you back. Maybe
Everything is this.
Hey.
It's all a game. It's all a
Machiavellian
game.
scheming.
It's like-
I just
no,
got
no,
playing
no.
of
from
angles.
The,
Everything is to
It's
gain an upper hand.
It's a 90-day window. You don't follow for 90 days.
I got some news
Okay?
from the back room. The social team was like, Parker said that you followed him instantly. So,
Well,
this
Parker
is a
was
new
a
one,
different-
Parker.
No,
I
well-
try to pass an olive branch, Chris, and he just do this. So I don't know why.
Parker,
we've been
it was a
trying to be
bit.
friendly.
Man.
It was a bit in a meeting, and I was trying to get
Okay,
annoy somebody else. So I said, "Yeah, Parker, I'll follow you." There was still a game, but yeah, I did. I followed first. Some people get that. Not Royalty Smith. I'm going to tell you that much.
Do we follow each other?
I was just going to ask you the same thing.
Come on, that's a Mason and Ireland bit where they're like, "No, we don't follow Greg anymore."
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, I know I follow you on Twitter. Are you on Instagram?
I am.
I think you are. Yeah, I
just don't use Instagram that much.
No, I'm more of a Twitter
No,
person.
you don't say.
I'm more of a
Here
Twitter
was what
person.
was pointed out on Twitter last week.
Okay.
I posted 3 pictures that you were tagged in. Us at the logo of the LA Athletic Club, our forks touching over the cheesecake, and a great picture of you and I with the afternoon sunlight coming up behind us. Tagged you in all of them.
Did I like? I liked.
You didn't share them. The standard thing is if I tag you in your story, you share it.
Is that a thing?
Yes,
Like, is
it's
this
a thing.
Only since like 2017 is it a
Yes.
thing.
You're fine.
You're shrugging your shoulders
Yeah,
because I'm
you're
kind of
fine.
the same way.
Yeah, you're fine.
There's probably a whole etiquette here.
Guys,
I'm sure there is.
In 2023, you're going to have to sharpen up. I've said this before. Your social media skills. It's starting with YouTube. We got Lakers Talk Daily. Oh, you share Lakers Talk Daily, though, don't you?
Yeah, I bet he does.
He does.
Not on Instagram.
He's got to repeat you can set the reminder where it retweets it every hour. Lakers Talk Daily. Lakers Talk Daily at 4. Lakers Talk Daily at 5. So you can set your watch to it.
By the way, Lakers Talk Daily on YouTube. Search ESPNLA. Hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, see, I like that answer. It's work, right? You're trying to create your Laker brand, your Trav and Slee brand. I understand.
And we have just a natural friendship. For me to have to use Twitter and Instagram to tell people about our friendship, I almost feel like I'm used.
Well, I mean,
Like a
I
piece
feel
of
like
meat.
I feel like you let him down again. You may have to go back to the LA Athletic Club.
You just
take a
want
whole
more
nother
pizza.
series. Well, that
That's-
would be good too.
that's all
But
you're
take a
looking
whole
for.
nother set of pictures, and Chris can tag you.
So
in
if I
them,
make it
then you can respond.
If I make it an official post,
Okay.
right? Follow me, Emily. If I make it an official post
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram, not just on my story, now you can then take the tag and share it again on your story. Or you never know. You could actually post the picture of you and I together. I think that's better.
Have him post an original.
You post the picture of you
I'll
and
share. I'll share.
I. No, I think here. Let me have your phone. I'll just post the picture of us.
Be honest with me, okay? No games.
I want Lady Slee to know I'm in your life.
Yeah, this is what you need.
She's
to
going to
careful.
find out.
Be honest. I'm going to ask you a question. Honest answer.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what he's talking about?
I have a little bit of an idea. I have enough.
Like the difference between sharing and posting. Like, do you understand the distinction between the two? Because I have no idea.
I think I have a very basic understanding of that.
What's the difference?
Sharing is I'm sharing something that he put up there. Posting is I'm actually posting it up.
Okay. Is that right, Emily?
Generally, right?
I told you a very
Travis would post it twice, and then
Maybe. If it were
the same
good.
photo.
If I liked it, I would do it twice. Why not? Lakers
yes,
talk
the whole
daily
run
every
derby.
day.
the whole run derby.
And there's a difference between an Insta story and an Insta post.
Those
so what,
confuse me.
what Chris wants is an Insta story, where he posted an Insta story. He just wants you to share that Insta story. Maybe either like shrink it, write a little phone, a little caption with it. Just be creative. It's sleazing.
I'm all over it.
Yeah. I could just.
Slee season is sleazing.
At some point in that, you started thinking about the second half of that Kings game last night during that entire experience. You're like, the Lakers really didn't look very good in that second half.
a lot going on there.
They really need to figure out how to hold on to leads a little bit better. Yeah, it just there's so many steps. Like at some point when you're out of the loop, you just realize that there's too many steps to try to get caught
Gotta
up.
catch up.
Yeah, it seems like a lot. We're on YouTube. That's
Okay,
pretty good.
okay.
We're live streaming on a Tuesday. You can see us on YouTube. That's a
Here's-
good way to do it.
Here's a question for you. Hypothetically, you don't work at the station anymore.
Yes.
You don't work at the station anymore. You're not doing anything sports related.
Okay.
What are you doing socially?
Nothing.
I think I'm the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't. There's. I don't want to say there's nothing because there are interesting things I see. That's a better way to do that. It's sleazing. That's better.
Sleazing.
Right. That's what I said. It's
He
sleazing.
said it right. It's sleazing.
Sleazing.
Yeah. It's sleaze suits are always in sleazing. Right? Even if they're not in sleazing.
Pay $900 for.
Yeah.
a suit.
You'd
What the
tap
hell
the
are we
mat.
doing
You
here?
wouldn't do anything.
No,
either.
I don't think I would.
Yeah. But see, you buy suits a lot. See, if you're going to buy multiple suits, me, the North American shopper that I am, I'm good for a suit every 10 years.
The one suit. Yeah. What did you say? You were going to the wedding out in D.C.
Mhm.
And when you said you hadn't bought one in 10+ years, I'm like, wait a minute. I've
At
seen you in
least.
suits.
Yeah. Yeah. At least. And now I've worn my new suit 3
I'm gonna
times
take
since
you to
then.
Citadel with me.
Oh my gosh, those places, and not the Citadel specifically, but those
any like outlet
those
places?
outlet things where you're
nobody
like,
puts anything back.
When it's like Thunderdome.
Yeah.
It's like Escape from New York. And look, I like a bargain as much as the next guy, but it just feels like everybody just got
Why is the
released from
32
prison.
in the 36 section?
Oh yeah, good luck. You have to go through everything.
Everything.
By the way, this is one advantage I have in life. I don't need to look at anything that starts with a 3. We're just going to slide those right off to the side. Where's the 4s? And you got anything with the purple tag?
Go to the bottom
of the
pile.
Well, they're usually at the bottom, but not at an outlet. They'd be
true.
hanging from the ceiling at that point. They're just all over the place. See, I like that we've turned this into taco talk, into
golf
suit talk, golf talk, and not so much the fact that
Social.
the Rams got run over last night.
You're a veteran.
Play the sound, Taylor.
Over.
You danced.
No, please don't.
You danced.
It was a lot. That was
when Mace comes.
You know what it was, Slee? Honestly, is watching that game, and about halfway through the third quarter. And again, the Rams were in the game.
Yeah,
the
one
game
score
wasn't
game.
decided until the pick 6, which was in the fourth quarter. It was a one-score game. It never felt like they were going to win that game. And football's a lot like that, right? Where you can just kind of tell if one team has control.
Cardinals
of the
and the
game.
Rams week before.
Cardinals never felt like they were going to win the game.
No,
Never.
and even at times where it was a one-score game.
Yeah, but the Rams are going to be able to do what they wanted to do. Last night, even when they kicked that field goal, and people were giving Kyle Shanahan, why did he kick a field goal there? 8 points, it's a one-score game. You got to go for it and knock out punch. Have you watched the Rams play offense tonight? You really think they're going to go get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion? They haven't been doing anything all night long. Of course, it was the right decision. The Dump coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710.
Yes, it's time for the Dump.
All right, let's start with this one. It's National Taco Day. I feel like we've observed properly.
Yeah.
What was the final tally? We've got some tacos today. What was your final damage?
Had 2 tacos,
okay.
Which I almost feel like there wasn't that many there, so I don't know if that was selfish to get 2.
It's fine. It's National Taco Day. Do you?
And then some beans.
Okay.
Some rice.
Okay.
Salsa on top.
Yep.
Little guac on top. Some chips on the side. Let me just make some my own little combination right there.
That would be a 2-item combo. You had a 2-item combo.
Yeah,
I had a 1-item combo.
We didn't do whole tacos. We didn't have
I didn't get any taquitos.
But that's on us.
No, I didn't get the taquitos quickly enough. I had the 1 taco and then the rice and beans. That would be a 1-item combination and I had the salsa and all those things. It was a great way to celebrate. It's also National Vodka Day. Your favorite cocktail, vodka-based cocktail, is what?
I don't do vodka.
Ever?
No, not vodka tonic.
Okay. Classic. No vodka martini ever?
We were talking about this a couple days ago. I don't know how the hell I used to do it. Red Bull and vodka.
Yeah, that's
Jesus
gross.
Lord.
Oh, yeah.
That's gross. Emily, you might be the better person to ask this. Your favorite?
She's a Red Bull and vodka fan.
I do like Red Bull and vodka if I'm like getting ready to go out, and then
Yeah.
I also like cranberry vodka cran, and
That's
I also like a mule.
Classic. The correct answer is Cosmo. Those things are
Also great.
Fantastic. And by the way, I always feel, shall we say, festive when I'm enjoying a Cosmo.
It's a little fun.
They are fun. They're pink. They come with a lime wheel on the side. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah,
it's just
great.
it's a great way to do it.
I'll have a vodka now.
Just get a little
Get
Get on
sky.
a plane later today to Vegas. Might as well just.
Look, you're
That's
basically
not a
required
perfect
by
time.
law before you get on that airplane to have
Yeah.
a couple of cocktails along the way. Get yourself a Cosmo.
Hour and 5 minutes. Quick flight.
It's an hour and 5. Where are you driving to Sacramento to take this flight? What are you doing? In the air. You're like in the air for like 35
I know.
minutes. It's crazy.
It says what, 4:30 to 5:35, something like that.
National Golf Lovers Day as
Oh,
well.
this is
Why,
your
why don't
day.
we just
Did you
call
know
this
this?
Chris
Did you know
Morales
this?
Day? That you've got tacos, golf, and vodka. I feel like this is the Chris Morales trifecta.
It's essentially his birthday.
Well, we're out of the window though.
I
We're
know,
outside
out
of the month of September.
All right, your best day, I think you had mentioned before. So it's golfing in the morning.
Yes.
You say
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary. I was going to say
Sure.
is your
Bloody Mary-
is your
Bloody-
first
Bloody Mary's a great
is the
vodka
first
cocktail.
drink, and then how about that? What is that first meal? Breakfast
So,
burrito.
If I'm playing golf in the morning, probably nothing, right? So we'll have a couple of drinks on the course. We're
What
gonna
about that on your stomach?
We're gonna finish golf. Say, let's call it noon. We're gonna go into the clubhouse.
Yep.
We're gonna sit down. We're gonna wash our hands. We're gonna wash our face a little
Yep.
bit. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna get a little refreshed. Take a cold towel, wipe off your face a little bit, and then sit down and get that
Burger and
vodka
fries.
cranberry. Burger and fries. What
Yeah.
a great way to go.
Yeah.
And then you go home, and then you pretend to be excited to see the people that are living in your house. You do that for an hour or two, and then you go out to dinner. That's the day. I'm just saying that's
I think
the way
you're
that
getting
you do
on the
that
couch
day.
and you're watching a Dodger game.
That's a great way to call it. Or you can go out and watch the Dodger game and have a martini and do that as well. Ben Simmons played last night for the first time with the Nets. I don't know how closely you're looking at Twitter while you're doing the Lakers stuff, but Ben Simmons, will he or won't he shoot, was all over Twitter last night for a period of time. It's like, can you just let this guy play a game or two before
I don't think
we
they
do
can.
that?
I don't think they can. Yeah, it's funny with him because you remember last season I was talking about it. Michael as well. We kind of spent time. I'm a fan of his game.
And
I
you're
know,
one of the remaining few.
And I know there aren't that many people that are. I'm curious what Brooklyn will be. KD, I mean, just look at the personalities. KD, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons. Do I think they're going to come out of the East? No, I don't. Do I think they're going to be an interesting team, that there's going to be games where you watch and say, wow, look how good they are, and then there's other games where you watch and say, what the hell is this? I almost feel like it's going to be very similar to how it was last season.
It's you said the right word. It is a mix of personalities that feels doomed to failure because you've got two guys that are Hall of Fame caliber players, right? That are, never mind Hall of Fame caliber, two Hall of Fame players.
Joe Harris and
right.
Seth Curry.
Kyrie and Kevin Durant are going to the Hall of Fame, okay? You have a potential very, very good NBA player in Ben Simmons. Kevin Durant is an odd duck. I don't know how else to describe him. Kyrie Irving is whatever that is times 100. And then Ben Simmons, as far as I can tell, really doesn't like playing basketball. That is a weird combination of guys. Talented combination of guys, but super, super
That's
weird.
my favorite thing. Every time we talk about Ben Simmons, I love guys that don't want to play basketball.
Do you get the sense that he loves playing? Because if you
No, he does
loved
not
playing
love- no, he
basketball,
doesn't.
you would, I don't know, shoot. You would, I don't know, try
Play.
to get back on the court.
Play.
You would do the things that basketball players seem to enjoy doing. Don't look at the screen real quick, Sid. I want to ask you a question. Today, Peyton Manning made his debut in 1998, October 4th. 1998, his first career game as a starting quarterback. It was a win over
Chargers?
Yes. Yep.
All right. Well, listen, that draft was, remember, it was Peyton Manning or Ryan Leaf.
Oh, that's right.
Those were the two guys
Yeah.
that you were questioning. Which one?
Colts got that one right.
Which one are the Colts going to take? And the Chargers are just going to get the next one. And I remember when they ended up with Ryan Leaf. Look, there's a lot of people, and it's not just this wasn't just a San Diego thing. Oh no, the Chargers got the right guy. Chargers got the right guy, and it did not take very long to just realize, oh my gosh, one guy's going to be a Hall of Famer, and the other dude's probably going to be out of the league.
The good news is the Chargers were on the correct side of that exact same scenario not that long ago with Tua and Justin Herbert. Now Tua
Is that a good news?
is bouncing.
That was
back.
when they were already here.
Well, and if you're an LA Charger fan,
Yes.
it's good news.
Yes.
They got the right guy. You're right, though. I was working, having that conversation, talking to all the agents about which of these two guys is better. And it's like, listen, Peyton is a finished product. This is as good as he's going to be. He comes from a football family. He's a student of the game.
But you can't go wrong either way.
But Ryan Leaf's upside is unreal. He's got so much talent, all these things, and he was out of football in about 6 seconds. Just an absolute disaster. The trailer for Patrick Beverley's podcast dropped yesterday. What'd you think?
Barstool does a really, really good job with this trailer. Really, really good job. And listen, there was something that happened at Media Day. You and I have talked about Pat Bev before he was a Laker. Okay? Before he was a Laker, you and I have spent time talking about Patrick Beverley. And, it's kind of a weird conversation. All this guy's all about, he had joined once the playoffs ended. He had joined ESPN. He was doing some of the first takes and everything else.
Yep.
Had an opinion, was really trying to kind of stir the pot. I'm a fan of his. I don't know how he's going to do in a podcast. I have no idea. But I think you and I would be able to, it's safe to say it's going to be entertaining. He's going to be honest. For some reason, when you and I interviewed him, we both sat back like we've known the guy for 25 years. He just kind of gives this, I'm comfortable talking to him, and I think he's going to be incredibly comfortable in front of that microphone.
Yeah, let's see what the 5th one sounds like, what the 10th one
Fair.
sounds like. That's
Fair.
where it gets tricky, right? To come out with your guns blazing in the first couple, sure. But when you get into we're in game 62 of the NBA season and we're 31 and 31.
Here are athletes that are having success with podcasts. Draymond Green, I think, has a great podcast, and I think the numbers show it. Obviously, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, what they do on Showtime, that's been a really good podcast.
Up in Smoke, right?
Up in Smoke. They've done a fantastic job.
That is a good one.
Trying to think of some others.
JJ
Redick. I actually saw one, and I think this is, I don't know if it's a Showtime thing, it's just YouTube. Brandon Marshall, Pac-Man Jones, and why am I forgetting, who's the old Eagles running back, McCoy?
LaShawn McCoy?
LaShawn McCoy. Is actually really good.
You
kind
get
of
the right
three different personalities.
You need 3 guys that can kind of
really
chop
good.
it up a little bit. This
They've
one
got
is
some good guests, too.
Deeply depressing, and then we'll go to Super Crosstalk here. The Phillies punched their ticket for the playoffs last night. The team that has gone the longest in Major League Baseball without a playoff appearance, the Los Angeles Angels.
Woohoo!
Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, a payroll closing
Used
in
to
on
be the
$200
Mariners.
million.
Now the Angels.
The Angels have gone the longest in Major. By the way, the Miami Marlins have gone to the playoffs more recently than the Angels. The Oakland A's have gone to the playoffs more recently than the Angels.
Think of small markets. Think of the
Seattle. I mean,
think of all of them.
Take your pick. Tampa's been in the World Series a couple of times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an extraordinary indictment of an organization that just can't.
Do you
seem
know
to get
the
out of
franchise of all the professional sports?
Yeah, we all know.
Let me think.
With
It's
the
a
longest
basketball
drought.
team that wears
I had a
purple
conversation
uniforms.
with the owner yesterday.
Well,
he told me, he asked me
conversation
where
might
the
be a step
restroom
too
was,
far.
and then told me to get whoever.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 11.
rice and some chips.
Don't say
By the way,
like
I did that for plate too.
There's nothing wrong with
Rice
it.
are all right, you know. Like,
But I
it's-
mean, not a
salsa
filet
on there.
mignon taco.
It was pretty
Today
darn
has been
good.
a day of compromises for me, okay? This morning, I went to go have a bagel and cream cheese. I get the bagel out, we're out of cream cheese.
No.
I was like, what am I going to do? Am I
Butter?
going to do bagel and butter?
Yeah.
Or am I going to shift gears and I'm going to make a
Peanut
sandwich?
butter and jelly.
I was
What
like,
ti-
okay, I can do a sandwich.
Yeah.
So I get the bread out. I put some mayonnaise on it, some mustard. I go to look for the turkey. There's no
Son of
turkey.
a-
Oh,
I was like, what am
no.
I gonna have? A mayonnaise and mustard sandwich? Like, and I can't have any cheese.
Should I toast the bagel or not with the
Okay,
bagel?
So I
Disaster.
dig deep into the fridge, and I'm like, okay, what can I do to salvage this? There's like 3 slices of salami in there,
Okay.
and
could
there's
work.
like a little piece of lettuce and tomato. I'm like, I mean, it's not really enough salami, the bread to meat ratio, but if I put some lettuce in there and tomato in there,
Is there no peanut butter in your house?
I would have done
there
peanut butter
was,
and
but I
jelly.
already had the mayonnaise and mustard on the
Oh,
bread.
yeah, too late.
You
Okay.
see,
Too
it's
late.
too late.
What type of bagel were you going to make?
I was gonna make a cinnamon raisin bagel.
Yeah, that can't have peanut butter
that's
on
too
that.
bad.
No. I mean, you
can't do
could.
that.
You could, but butter would
No,
be the better
conceivably,
choice.
conceivably, yeah.
Butter
But,
would be
The
the
today
only
is a
thing,
day
if
of lowered expectations and being happy for what you have.
Can
Well,
I tell you
let's-
something?
Let's raise our expectations.
that was awesome.
I feel like I've hit a point in my life that I'm happy about with you specifically, Ramona.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why, but in the last, say, maybe week or two, you
Yeah.
just sent me some text, just kind of, you're
Yeah,
listening to the show,
same
you hear
page.
something,
Oh,
and you
that's
send it.
nice.
And I like that a great deal. It makes me feel good
Yeah.
that you're listening.
I'm
It makes me
listening.
feel good that you reach out. But more specifically, they're always food related.
Always
Which I
food-related.
just absolutely love. That you had very specific
I
Del
am
Taco
in
opinions today.
Your demo.
There you go.
Like, I am your
She's a P1. Yeah, she's a P1 on the food talk.
Nursing mom.
Yeah, I'm huge with nursing moms. I don't know if you guys know that about
No,
me.
are you big?
But if you are a lactating mother,
Yes.
you're gonna want to come
Yeah.
to
That's the
Travis
right
Lawson.
You should,
thing. Wow,
you should
that's
see his
scary.
Instagram. Just
Oh, is
all
it?
nursing mothers.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, they're
That's
sitting there
fantastic.
nursing their baby with the ear pod in, listening to the Travis Lee show.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
not? Why not?
I mean, I'm driving around. You're talking about Del Taco, and
Well, it's the freshly grated cheese that makes Del
it is.
Taco just
and
super
the
elevated.
thing is, I
Morales
can't
did
have
some
the
work
cheese
there.
right now.
Yeah.
But Del Taco does have enough taste, and the ingredient. I think what it is. I think the ingredients are like a little higher quality.
The shell is good too.
The shell's good. The meat's good. Like
Keep hearing the fries are good.
Yeah,
fries are
everybody
good.
says the fries are good. I'm
Crinkle
not a
cut
Del
fry-
Taco guy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
You're missing out.
they're good.
I want to ask Momo something. So she texts you all the time, right?
Yeah.
She's, I like your food or whatever
Yes.
it is. We get sports texts from Momo a lot of the
But
time.
you're talking sports. You don't
We're
talk
talk-
as much food as they
Correct, correct. Now today,
Content that matters.
Momo sent us a link of the New York Post with Tom Brady and Giselle.
Oh, yeah, they're breaking
up.
Giselle
Yeah.
Bundchen breaking up or whatever, getting lawyers. And Momo texted, "I knew it."
Yep.
Now, how did you know it?
I have sources.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I really
Inside
honestly,
the Brady camp.
I
Damn.
happen to be hosting the Sedano and Cap show for a lot because both those guys went on vacation at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Right when I first came back, and they kept Lindsay and Laura kept wanting to talk about Tom and why he was gone. Was he on The Masked Singer? And I said, guys, I don't want to make too much fun of this because I actually think it's something serious. I had somebody tell me that they thought there were that
Yeah, I know
yeah.
who told her.
and that there was something else going on with Tom and Giselle, and that it might be like a marital thing.
Oh.
And I was like, we're gonna feel really bad if we make fun of him for missing training camp and The Masked Singer if
Well-
it turns out to be a family thing.
Yeah.
All the pieces were there. Look,
Yeah.
when your wife, your very famous wife, by the way, very publicly says, "I don't want to play in football anymore."
Yeah.
Okay, so she's put it out in the universe that she has an
And we
opinion
all think
on
that's
your
like
career.
the fake excuse that everyone
No,
uses,
it
right?
wasn't. It was
But
real.
It was real.
It's dangerous. He's an older guy. He's been gone from home for
Want you with a
20
family.
years, all
Sure.
of these things. And then he retires and then instantly comes back. You're like, okay, that couldn't have gone over great.
Yep.
That is a lead balloon in a relationship,
Totally.
right? Then he bounces from training camp and you're thinking, okay, all of these things are lining up to where we are right now, which is Splitsville. As
So
they
I don't
say
want
on
to
page
speculate
6.
about people's personal lives. What about if this happened? I'm going to speculate.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you won't, I will.
Hey,
So
literally, this is the definition of sports talk radio.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's say he retires.
Like
They-
now?
No.
Okay.
Retires back then.
Originally.
Okay.
Yep.
And spends some time with Giselle and says, you know what? I got to get back to football.
Yeah.
I got to get back to football. In other words, he knew the relationship was going south, so he needed football as his salvation to get him through this.
The impetus to get the relationship over?
Yeah. No, the impetus to give him something to do while he's going through all this.
So generally speaking, you can only do one thing really well at a time. Okay?
I agree.
You can do your job really well,
Mm-hmm.
but then all of a sudden you become a parent or you get married or whatever it is. And you can kind of do your job well and kind of be a good spouse or kind of be a good parent and kind of do your job well. But you probably are going to lose your friends.
In both, yeah.
You're probably, like, there's not room for friends at that point. There's not room for, like, hobbies or extracurriculars. But the way Tom Brady does football, I don't think there was ever all that much room for family. Like, he was probably never quite there.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to be there, but he doesn't know how to do football any other way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm learning this as a parent.
All consuming.
I still think there's a chance that he retires again. That if this season
Like right in
goes,
the middle of this?
Yes.
Yeah, he said that before the season started.
I said it before
Yeah.
the season started, that if this goes a certain way,
Yeah.
and it kind of is.
And they're not that good.
They're average.
Yeah.
Right? They don't stink, but they're average. He looked really old on Sunday night. I get it's one game.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But this is not Tom Brady that we've come to know.
Yeah,
and if they're, say they're 3-5, 3-6, and just like,
He doesn't think they have a chance.
I don't need to be here anymore. My,
I mean,
my marriage
look,
is blown up.
When I stopped playing, how were you when you stopped playing baseball?
I was okay with it because I was kind of done with it. My last year still playing. I was kind of over it. But
Yeah.
about a year after that, I missed
Yeah.
it terribly.
Right. So when I stopped playing softball, I was kind of over it. I think I knew I was like, I had gone as far as I could go.
Yep.
I started having body stuff, like my knee started hurting and my shoulder, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And it was also like, you're going to graduate from college. And so there's a natural like break of going out
Next
into the
chapter.
world. But I had no idea what I wanted to do next. I was
Mm-hmm.
very existentially confused because all I had ever been is a student and an athlete. And those two things were all I had ever been. I had never had. I said to my mom, I didn't date much in college. I went on a few dates here and there, but I didn't have like boyfriends. I didn't. And I said to my mom, I'm like, I don't have time for a boyfriend. That's like another 5-unit class.
Yeah.
Like I can't. It's just like a whole. It's so
Is
much work.
boyfriend a 5-unit class?
Maybe 10.
I think technically,
Probably
is
10,
a multi-unit class.
scientifically, it's 6 units.
Six
That's
units,
how
is
it
that what
is.
it
My
is?
And,
wife
like-
would have
Two
said it was
courses.
at least 5
At
minutes.
least it depends on the guy, right?
Yeah.
But like
Some guys are
it took
needy.
me like a good year or two to find what was next and
Yeah.
to like move out into the world and figure out. Well, this isn't quite as fun as being a student athlete in college.
Nope.
Right.
It's not really, and you don't have success right away. Like you kind of have a bad job and don't make anything and live with your parents.
You
It's
think
kinda
that's what he's
depressing.
going through? That thing? I don't know what's waiting
I think
for
he
me on
went.
it.
Well,
But he's
he has
got
a
a
bazillion
$300
dollars with
million
Fox,
deal.
but that doesn't get you
not the same.
going the way football does.
That's why I always get to kind of bring it full circle. It's
Yeah.
kind of why the whole McVay Amazon thing made me go, no.
No.
Because that's going to be there for him.
Yeah.
That will always be there.
Whenever he
Yeah.
wants to go get paid by a
Yeah.
television network, that's available.
Well,
They
and
could
it's-
do that, and
it's
they could do that in
Kobe,
their
it's
sleep.
Jordan,
They're-
it's
it's the
anybody who's
juice.
great at what they do.
It's the
Even
juice.
Demoff said to us, eventually we'll lose him to TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
But
believe
you know what?
it will happen
he will
eventually.
only do TV for a year or two, and then he'll come back.
I couldn't agree
100%.
more because that dude likes being up at 4 o'clock in the morning
Yep. Mhm.
with a laser pointer on the film saying that right there.
Yeah.
On 3 hours sleep, that's the part
Yep.
that he loves.
and
That's
like
it.
you can do that.
And he's
for,
so young.
You can do the intense craziness. Like I did that in my job for 10 years. Like I was like, you saw me. I was running ragged all the time, all over the country, stand up all night writing, and like. You can do that for like a 10-year stretch, and you go hard and whatever, and then you pivot into something else, and you can still do the job, but you can't do it that way.
Yeah.
At that volume or that intensity.
Can't be
level.
all consuming like
yeah,
that.
you can't do it. It's not healthy, and I think Tom.
Sounds like you peaked.
Huh?
Did you peak?
A plateau.
Did? That's what I said the other day. I plateaued.
Plateau.
By the way, this is a really good
I was
plateau.
going to say, if that
It's a good
plateau is like
plateau,
one of
man.
those
Hell.
desert ones that's way up there,
Yeah,
I'll take
no,
that.
it's
But
a
like
good
if you,
Pretty damn
if you
good.
plateau and then you take a little break for not break, but like you plateau, stay there and enjoy the views for a little while
Yeah.
and do what you got to do, and then like 5 years later you can
Get a
go
third act.
You can
Yeah.
go climb again. Like you just can't climb and be at the level Tom has been at for 20 years.
Right.
You
Right.
just can't do that for that long. The candle burns out.
What's interesting is, what he decides to do after. Eventually, his football's career is going to be done, and maybe it's not in a booth. You look at LeBron.
He's
LeBron
never going to have the same high that he does.
But LeBron, I'm
football
going to use Bron as an example. Bron does so many different things.
It'll never be as satisfying.
Probably not.
Look,
But eventually, I'm assuming, Ramona, he has said he wants to own a team, right? Like, there's going to be other things that I think will take somebody like that and say, all right, let me take to the next level.
Look,
Kobe,
but
when he
outside-
was
look
doing
at Jordan.
post-career, was amazing
Jordan's
what
an
he was
owner
doing.
of a team. You get a sense that he gets nearly the amount of pleasure out of that he did playing.
So I interviewed
not even close.
Neil Armstrong years
Yeah.
ago. I said,
Oh, God,
so,
talk about peaking.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah, I interviewed Neil Armstrong.
What did you do after you land on the moon?
What was your life like? How did that affect your life?
Be more
He said,
impressed right now.
My life is so disappointing.
I understand
How
that.
do you top being
There's nothing
on
you
the
can do.
moon?
Yeah.
It's like you've hit the highest of high. What is the next step from there?
Jupiter?
It's straight down.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's like, okay, we
Selling
did the moon. We're
Tang
going to go to
on
Mars.
Channel 5.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like literally nothing better than being the first man to walk on the moon.
Yep.
It's not a bad way to do it.
And it depends on how you're wired. Like Kobe saw what happened with Michael and said, I'm not going to be that. And he spent the last 4 years of his career trying to plan for retirement so that he didn't have that horrible transition. And I think he did it about as successfully as anybody could, and still
struggles.
Okay, like I remember talking to him a couple of days after the 60-point game, and I was doing this big story, and I was like, I can't believe you did this. You're going to make me rewrite my whole story. Like I had this, after he had the 60-point game, I had to tear it all up. And I go, okay, talk me through what you did after that game, because this is now the story is. You have to lead with
He's
this game.
dropped the mic.
Mamba out. What's next?
Walks out of the
okay?
arena for the final time.
So and he goes, I go, so talk me through it. He goes, okay, well, I flew home on the helicopter, and I got back to his house around 3:30 in the morning. Me and Vanessa and the kids had some pizza and watched some movies before we went to bed. It was like really late, but they were so, up there, adrenaline-wise, they needed, and then we kind of fell asleep. And he goes, I got up the next morning about 6:37. I went to church. I worked out. Then I went to the office. I don't know if he worked out.
The
and then
day
went to
after
church.
the 60-point
Yeah, so
game.
he probably slept like 3 hours. Worked out, went to church. That was like a big thing for him. He went to church that next morning. And then he went to the office and started his next life. And he goes, but I always go to the office in the morning. And I'm like, yeah, you've been doing that, huh? Like, he could not face literally one day of not being at that level.
Those guys, especially at that level, Ramona,
Yeah.
Kobe, Brady, these sorts of Tiger, those guys that are just the thinnest slice. The routine is everything.
Well, and you've got to pick
it's
a different.
all of it.
Yep.
You got to pick a different mountain to climb, right?
And he did.
And he did. He picked his mountain.
Yeah.
Like you said,
Yeah.
4 years before he knew
Yes.
what that mountain was going to
It was
be.
when he tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
He said, okay, this is the basketball career is over.
Yep.
And he played a few more years afterwards, but he was never quite the same as we all know. And I think he picked that mountain, he started climbing, etc. And Tom, he picked another mountain. He does the TB12 and he does the Fox broadcasting thing for $100 million. It's not the same.
Nope.
He's just not going to have the same adrenaline, etc. And I think he tried to throw himself into his family, and it doesn't. It's like, getting out of a long relationship. How long does it take to get over somebody? They say like half the length of the relationship.
I believe it.
Right? Isn't that the
Say that one more time.
So
you've been
You're
with somebody
together
10
for a
years.
year.
It takes 5
Yeah.
years
Takes
to get
5
through
years
it.
to get out.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Sounds like a long time.
That's a long time.
No,
I've gotten over stuff faster than that.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
But that's generally
I've always been the dumper.
Yeah, when you're on, beat it, dude.
I've always been. I've never been the dumpy.
Yeah, I'm
When
done
you're
with
the
this one.
dumper, it's easy to go.
I'm done with this one.
Yeah, but when you get out of one relationship,
Hold
it
on,
takes a certain amount of time.
Hold on. How long were you a Charger fan?
Long time.
Yeah.
Right? Are you over it yet?
No.
There you go.
Stick in there.
There you
Not
go.
at
You're
all.
still,
Stick in
you're
there.
still carrying that one around. I think you got several more years to go before
Maybe
you
your
can watch her
your
walk
math is
away.
right. Maybe her math is
I
right.
think it is.
Yeah, it might
For
be
you,
accurate
it
then.
definitely is.
So if you've been a football player in the NFL for 20 years,
Yeah.
it's going to take 10 years to get over that.
Yeah.
So what do you
Mace,
do if you're Phelps? What do you do? Like just some of these
Who,
Serena
Michael
now.
Phelps?
Yeah, Serena now.
Yeah,
like
they do the same
It's
thing
just
every
never
day
as
forever.
cool. Like, you just have to accept that, you're never going to have that same high.
Well-
And you put on Bruce Springsteen and sing Glory Days.
Whether it's a movie, a TV show, a business, whatever it is, the juice of trying to create an Oscar award-winning short like Kobe it's competitive for sure. It's not trying to win an NBA championship. There is no comparison. There's no
comparison.
equal thing. It's always less than, and that's why they chase it.
Sure.
But it never kind of lands
And the
like
challenge is to is to find gratitude and appreciation in other parts of your life of being
Okay,
a
Oprah,
father.
thank
And
you.
I know, trust me, listen, this is me every night, Ramona.
Oprah's
Okay,
talking
you
now.
got now you have children,
Okay,
and you have to be the best mom you can be, and you have
gratitude
to. Yeah,
and-
I mean, this is
that.
my
Very quickly,
self-talk
Mace,
here.
before I duck you out. A good team that's playing poorly or not a good team?
I don't know if they're going to be good or not. Right now, I don't think they've played one really good, complete game.
I agree.
Okay,
I have not seen what it looks like yet.
I came in here hot. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a hot take.
Oh wow.
I have something that
it's always best when you call out your hot takes.
It might be the cold medicine. It might.
Yeah.
Might be the lack of cream cheese.
And the lack of cheese.
She had a mayonnaise and mustard sandwich.
The mayonnaise, mustard, and 2 sad slices of salami sandwich that I had this morning. But I have a hot take for you.
Okay, we'll save
that
it
I think
because we're coming back in a
can
minute.
turn around the season.
Oh, she's going to turn around.
Wow.
The season.
Are you?
Trav,
That's
you
a
better
great
be
season.
listening.
I'm going to go.
You shouldn't go anywhere.
And
You
wait.
should stay right there.
I may just sit in your chair, Ramona.
It's
and
something
listen
we
to this.
can all get behind.
Mason and Ireland coming up.